Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to AEW Dynamite April 8th, 2020 review. This was actually a spectacular, entertaining, fun show. I actually liked the main event with Cody and Shawn Spears. There was a women's match between Hakurashita and Britt Baker that was a very solid matchup and was probably one of the better matches that AEW's ever had in their company's history. So let's go straight into things here. We had Lance Archer actually have a promo made by Jake the Snake Roberts talking about how he wants Cody Rhodes. It's inevitable that Cody Rhodes is going to be the one to go one-on-one with Cody, and he will make history and also end Cody if he's still in the finals, that is. So then we go ahead and we find out that Chris Jericho is going to be doing commentary with Tony Schiavone, which actually was rather entertaining. I loved hearing Chris Jericho commentary with Tony Schiavone. It was actually fun and entertaining as fuck. He was hilarious. So to kickstart the show, they had Lance Archer face this guy who's a jobber named Alan Angels. Lance Archer defeated Alan Angels with no problem in less than 2 minutes. Following that, we had Britt Baker versus Hakurashita. And this match was one of the better women's matches in AEW's history. I was really entertained by what happened here. Britt Baker had a bloody nose. Apparently she broke her nose. She did some damage to Hakurashita, made her really fucking sore all over. These women competed hard, they competed stiff, and they were really good together in this whole situation. At the end of the day, Shida actually picks up the victory with a running knee strike to the head and gets the cover for the 1-2-3. Following that, we had Miro Kanazawa, I forgot how to pronounce his last name. Nakazawa. And they were actually talking in their own trailer, and Nakazawa says he's feeling super nostalgic since they have tagged in haven't tagged in years. Omega says they need a tag name. Nakazawa says best friends. Omega says they already have a team with the name. Nakazawa says Omega is an EVP? EVP, okay? Just change it. Omega responds he'll think about it. Orange Cassidy comes in randomly from a different room, and Trent and Chuck Taylor walk in and say they heard everything and don't appreciate the two trying to take their name and livelihood. Trent and Chuck says whoever wins the match gets the name. So at that point, we actually do get a match between these two, which was fucking spectacular. It was really good. Trent Barreta, I'll tell you what, man, he is turning into a fucking beast of a performer. Despite the fact he isn't winning, he is doing some great... He's performing very well. He's reminding me a lot of Omega in some ways, and not to mention they're wearing the same attire somewhat. The coloring on their trunks were very much the same. I should say tights, not trunks. Trunks is around the it's like underwear, but whatever. You get my point. But yeah, those two had a great matchup. They also have Excalibur run down this week's AEW rankings with Jake Hager, Shida, and the Dark Order at number 1 in their respective divisions. Now, they did mention that Cody Rhodes is ranked number 2 in the Heavyweight Championship run. Now, this was a little troubling. I don't understand the logic, and there's also another thing that made no sense to me as logic goes. Logically, I don't understand why Cody would be ranked anywhere on the heavyweight division. he's not able to compete for the heavyweight title. So the only other title he can compete for is now the TNT Championship and the tag team titles. Other than that, there's really nothing he can do in the heavyweight division. So that made no sense to me that they're even ranking him in the top 5. The other thing that I didn't see any point of is Nakagawa and Omega talking about becoming a tag team and taking the name of the Best Friends when Omega has a tag team partner named Hangman Page. They are the tag team champions. So that whole thing didn't make a lot of sense outside of giving us a really good match for us to watch for about 20 minutes or so. So I didn't quite get that either. That kind of made me scratch my head. That was the only bit of logic that made no sense to me. But other than that, everything else was really good with this show. We also had a promo about the No Holds Barred Empty Arena match with Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Jake Hager. I will go on record, and they did this twice in one night. They advertised more about it later on in the show. This was it felt real. Like they were preparing for war. They were preparing for an actual contest over the World Heavyweight title. It felt like I was watching a real fight. Like I was seeing a promotion to a real fight or something. And they gave me that sports authentication to it. And I really appreciate that. I felt like I was watching a wrestling show instead of some fucking off-the-walls retarded bullshit. By the way, I know that I'm not going to be reviewing anything WWE-wise anymore on this channel based on what they did with Charlotte Flair and Rhea Ripley. But I will say this. Last night's episode of NXT was off the fucking wall with Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa. If you have not caught that match, if you haven't caught that match, man, you are missing out on a fucking awesome matchup. If anything else, you don't care about the ladder match for the women's number 1 contendership or anything else on this card, that's fine. But do not miss Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa's war in this empty arena where there's nobody there but those two and the referee, because quite frankly, that was fucking awesome. This match here with Jon Moxley and Jake Hager, I think, is going to be as good as that match. Now, granted, the Johnny Gargano Tommaso Ciampa was kind of choreographed in the sense of like a movie cinematic type thing, but they also were doing an actual match nonetheless. This, I don't believe, is going to be done in that kind of fashion. I think they're just going to do it in a regular way of, recording it, like they normally do with every other match. But at the end of the day, these two guys, I think, are going to put on a hell of a show, a wrestling clinic. Jake Hager, I swear to you, I don't know what the fuck WWE did with this man, but they made Jake Hager, since joining Bellator and being in part of a MMA promotion, he has turned into a fucking beast. I feel like he's a mini version of Brock Lesnar right now at this point. He is fucking... He's a guy that you don't want to really get into a fight with. He looks like a guy that could kick your ass. And he looks like a serious threat for Jon Moxley's title, even though, granted, yes, I don't see Jon Moxley losing to Jake Hager. If that happens, I will be pissed. But at the same time, I will not go ahead and want to stop watching AEW because Jake Hager is a believable challenger. But I want Jon Moxley to walk away still the champion. I want him to have a lengthy title reign. I don't want no, paper champion type run. I think he deserves a lot better than that. But yeah, these two guys, for 2 promos throughout the show, they did a great job promoting this matchup. This match was done excellent. So I was highly, highly entertained by that. Best Friends going up against Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa. of course, we knew who was going to lose this match. It was going to be Michael Nakazawa, who was going to lose to the Best Friends. This match, though, went on for almost 30 minutes plus. Almost 30 minutes, at least, on television. And these guys killed each other. Again, I say, you guys are not performing in front of a fucking audience. Why are you guys killing each other like this? I mean, I appreciate what they do, man. I really am loving what they do. But I'm worried that one of these guys are going to get a bad injury during these tape shows, and they are going to be out for a couple of months or something like that. And I don't want to see that. I want to be able to enjoy watching them actually perform in front of an audience later on once we get over this issue with this virus. But bottom line, man, these guys really kicked each other's ass. Kenny Omega is starting to get a lot of his matches now in the realm of what he did in New Japan Wrestling. Now, granted, he's competing in tag team matches most of the time now at this point since he's a tag team champion. But he's actually putting on some matches that remind me of his old matches from New Japan Wrestling. So, I gotta admit, he's been doing some off-the-wall shit that's been fucking unbelievable. So Trent pretty much ends up doing a jumping pile driver, covers Nakazawa. Nakazawa actually kicks out. Then he hits a strong zero. Hits on Nakazawa, and he's covered, and that was pretty much it. A 1, 2, 3, and that's the whole match. Overall, it was just back and forth action, high flying maneuvers, and just these guys tearing each other up like crazy. Very entertaining shit. If you didn't see this matchup, definitely go back and watch it. It's well worth your time. So we get a promo by Brody Lee in a cinematic promo, which I thought was fucking weird. Ever since he's come to as the Exalted One, he's just acting like he's making fun of Vince McMahon all the time. Which I don't understand that either, but oh well. So Brody Lee drives up to a building to meet some of his followers. One is wearing a tie, the other two are not. He calls them out for how they look, says he wants to make every single life he touches extraordinary, and says how they look is important. He tells them to get their act together and show him that they want it. He then tells the guy with a tie that he has an opportunity. He heads into the building with the follower, and that's it. Wow. Not really impressed by that. Backstage, we actually have a promo by bloodied Brett Baker, and it is asked about her match and if she thinks Hakurashita is number 1 in the division. Baker says, no way. Being number 1 is about being a leader, and Shida is the dirtiest person she's been in the ring with. Baker says Shida is just lucky she didn't mess up her teeth. But she could have had them fixed anyways because she's a dentist. That's how that promo went. Thought that was pretty fucking weird, but whatever. So we get more clips of Jon Moxley, Jake Hager. I already explained that. So we'll move through that. We then have Matt Hardy, the Broken One. Ah, yes! It's so wonderful! Hope I did a good imitation of Matt Hardy there. I don't think I did, but if you guys want to make a comment on that, please let me know what you guys thought of that. Anyway, so Matt Hardy is providing a promo from the Hardy compound. Matt Hardy responds to Chris Jericho and his comments from last week. He says Jericho made fun of the Elite, but he should look at the guys he surrounds him with. He also makes a mention that was fucking hilarious. He says, Jericho, you're going ahead and you're sitting in your jacuzzi wearing some black leather pants. He kind of made a comment like, what the fuck would anyone do that for? So I just want to bring that out because in the Wrestling Incorporated article here talking about the rundown of the entire show, they don't really have that written in this, so I just wanted to bring that up. So he goes forth and explains each and one of the characters that are in the inner circle. He says the Spanish god, Sami Guevara, is a false god, a farce. He says he will devour Santana and Ortiz, calling them they're like they're pride and powerful. He said some other shit, but they didn't add this in here in the dialogue, so I apologize. I don't quite remember what the comment he made about them, but it was fucking hilarious. He calls Jake Hager a Jakenstein. He might as well put 2 bolts in his neck to complete the process. These comments, Matt Hardy never, I mean ever, in any promotion with this broken Matt Hardy gimmick, has he sounded this fucking hilarious since he came to AEW. I mean, his character was off the walls insane, but now his character seems like it's got more comedic quips that comes with his character. He's coming up with some very funny lines that makes fun of his opponents and actually insults them, which I think is fucking great. So he goes on to say he didn't appreciate Jericho trying to recruit Vanguard. Hardy asked Vanguard #1 for Jericho's shirt, and Vanguard said it's in a dumpster fire. So he goes, in a dumpster fire? Well, yes, it is a dumpster fire. I appreciate you having the Matt Hardy t-shirt, which is a very nice t-shirt, by the way, but my goodness, where is the shirt that Jericho gave you? And he mentions again it's in a dumpster fire, and they cut to a scene where it shows the shirt being burnt in a fire pit, which I thought was fucking unbelievable. So Matt invites Jericho to come to the Hardy compound to face him and the ultimate deletion. So that was pretty much the promo, and I fucking loved it. Out of everything that happened on this show, Matt Hardy was fucking great. The promo for the AEW World Championship match, I think, is going to be fun as hell for anyone who's interested in a world title match. This is going to be pay-per-view type quality match, I think. So definitely check that match out next week. I definitely would not miss it if I was you, if you're a fan of AEW wrestling. So we had a match with Brody Lee versus Lee Johnson, which is a very short match. Brody Lee wins, hands down, easy, no problem. So they recap the history between Cody and Shawn Spears, which is a very good idea, since these two guys have some little bit of history with each other, based on the fact that Shawn Spears hit him over the head with a fucking steel chair on the back of the skull to Cody. So, I mean, that is all in itself well worth a video package before they have this match, making it feel more like a pay-per-view type match in itself and make it feel like a main event worthy. So we had Cody Rhodes versus Shawn Spears for the TNT Championship match tournament, and sorry about that. Tournament. And pretty much the match ends with Cody going ahead and winning this matchup in a very good 15-minute matchup that I thought was very, very good stuff. I mean, overall, it was a entertaining matchup in itself. So Cody does pick up the match, the win here. And unfortunately, Shawn Spears did a good job, but again, turning out to be a jobber in the situation. So that's pretty much that. But Cody wins. Jericho is funny on the commentary during this match. He was saying all kinds of derogatory things about fucking Cody. So I thought that was great as well. Anyway, at this point, guys, that's really all the show that was left. It ended with Cody winning the tournament matchup for the TNT Championship. So at this time, guys, hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel. And of course, as always, leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you on that. And I thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, guys. Bye.